Well, a lot of Hall of Famers are on display here, and the entire bowling world is now involved in the new National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum. It will feature old-time bowling lanes, equipment, and all sorts of memorabilia collected through the years. Bowling Hall of Fame will be a showcase of the sport, and the drive for funds continues. You can help by donating at your favorite bowling center. And here we go into the semifinals with Joe Joseph and Tommy Hudson bowling against Bill Lillard and Marshall Holman. And first it's Joe Joseph, and he's gotten his team off to a pretty good start in both of the quarterfinal matches.
He sure has. Joe is an excellent player. Keeps the ball into play all the time. Doesn't throw those wild shots.
He told me he was really nervous at the outset, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him. There's a strike, and now they've got a lot of people rooting for them.
Well, Joe's such a smooth player, you know, and he's been around a long time. He's a very personable individual, and he attracts people to him.
Bill Lillard from Houston, Texas, bowled with outstanding teams in Texas, Chicago, Detroit, and St. Louis. Former member of the Budweiser team. Perhaps the greatest bowling team ever put together. And he'll try to match Joe Joseph here in the first frame. He is there. Ooh, where'd that 8-pin come from?
Well, that's supposed to be the only true tap in bowling, but yeah, you can't throw the ball any better than Bill just threw it. That was a perfect shot.
And he's been very much at home on these lanes, hasn't he?
Well, he sure has. He's really been knocking down some pins. I know when Marshall was struggling yesterday afternoon we bowled, Bill really picked him up.
So now he'll try to avoid the open here in the first frame and hope that Marshall Holman can do something when he gets up there. Lillard is a very demonstrative guy. He smiles a lot. He bounces around a lot.
You can see Bill here. He throws a conventional grip for those people at home that would like to know what kind of a ball he throws, but really smooth and a lot of leverage, a lot of lift at the foul line. Uses the whole body for the shot. Is in contrast to Joe Joseph, who just lets it swing very easily.
The match is even now, but perhaps not for long. That depends on what Tommy Hudson does here in the second frame. Good hit. Now Tommy Hudson and Joe Joseph are ahead by 11 pins. And they have served notice on Mr. Holman here that he better get on a strike.
That's right, but they've done the same thing this game that they did the first two games. They jumped out very quickly.
And the winner of this will be taking on Tom Hennessey and Earl Anthony in the finals. Holman runs up to that line, fires that ball, and leaves the 10-pin. So they've had an 8-pin tap and a 10-pin tap.
You can't fault either one of their shots. They've both thrown them solid into the pocket. But I think it's a matter of time till they get a few strikes today.
11 pins down at the moment.
He's one of the most liked players on the tour, and uses a lot of body English when he bowls.
He's a real agitator, this kid is. A pleasant agitator, I might say. He gets the 10-pin. And he has a spare, so Lillard and Holman have two spares, and Joseph and Tommy Hudson have two strikes.
You can see Bill Lillard there talking to Marshall, saying, settle down, it's all right. It's only first frame.
I guess Joe Joseph is more at home on this pair of lanes than anybody we've seen.
He sure is rolling the ball extremely well today.
That's 3 in a row for them. Now, they tell you, they've got everybody rooting for them. This house is going to be a house divided when the winners go against Hennessey and Earl Anthony for the top prize of $14,000, $7,000 for each member of the doubles team. Still looking for the first strike is Bill Lillard.
Well, they have to do it now, Jack. They're going to get too far behind if they don't. Bill's got to throw this ball solid.
The Hall of Famer heads it for the pocket and leaves a 10-pin again. They're the alternate duo, and evidently they're not going to see any action today. Ray Bluth, George Pappas.
Right. They won their last two games to almost make the TV show here. They won them each by 1 pin.
By the way, everybody in this tournament collected some prize money.
Concentration.
$70,000 event. Trying to get the spare, and so in 3 frames, the best that duo has been able to do is come up with 3 spares.
Not really their fault either. They're throwing all 3 shots very well.
They're talking it over, trying to figure it out here.
See Marshall with his palms up shot there. He says, well, I don't know what we're going to do, but hit him.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if Joe Joseph and Tommy Hudson showed us a 300 here? We've had one in this tournament.
Right, Johnny Petraglia, my roommate, shot one. In fact, it's the second one here this year. He had one earlier in the tournament this year, and now he had one yesterday.
And $10,000 if they bowled a 300 game on television. Joe Joseph looking for 4 in a row. Pretty good hit. A little bit high, but he carried him. We've seen some high carries over there.
Right, the ball definitely gets up to the pocket and settles there. It doesn't continually hook in real high unless they lose that speed. As long as they keep the speed up, they're going to keep the ball in line.
Are they putting pressure on Mr. Lillard right here?
Well, they have to. Bill and Marshall have to do it right now. They're already 30 pins behind, and they have no choice but to get going.
They've had 3 spares. This is Bill Lillard bowling in the 4th frame.
It's just a matter of carrying the pins for them.
And another good hit. And they finally get their first strike.
See Bill turn around and say, all right.
Well, we bowled through 4 frames. Joe Joseph and Tommy Hudson are on top, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. Now here we go into the 5th frame, and Tommy Hudson could serve another notice on the opponents for Joseph and Hudson that they mean business.
All right, this is the lane that Tommy's had a little bit of trouble with. He's been a little bit short, a little bit high.
Let's watch how hard he throws the ball. He let up a little bit, didn't he? Hit it.
Sure didn't seem to matter any.
Am I right? Did he let up a little?
He was a little bit softer that time, and I think because lane 31's much tighter and doesn't hook as much, you can see him a little bit better stroke here.
This hit puts them 42 pins ahead. They bowled through the 5th frame, and now Holman has to cash in on the Lillard strike in the 4th frame. Repeat, if they bowl a 300 game on TV, it's $10,000 for the team. Holman looking for the double here in the 5th frame, way out, just up, and there it is. He got that last tap from the 6 pin on the 10, and down it went for the double. We're going to end up with a match here.
Oh yes, with the drive that both Bill Lillard and Marshall Holman have, they're not going to quit until they're really out of this match.
Now they have served notice that if this other team opens, it's going to be something. By the way, Lillard and Holman could have had all strikes just like their opponents.
And you know that their opponents are thinking about that too.
Let's see if this is 6 in a row. A little bit high and no 4-pin. That would have been a definite break had the 4-pin fallen for them.
Right, that lane 32, as we said just a moment ago, definitely finishes a little bit harder, and Tommy threw the same speed.
Watch that Marshall Holman, Bill Lillard. They're bobbing. Their heads are bobbing around. They're talking it over. They know they have a shot at it now.
Well, they've been a great duo this week. When one's been bowling bad, the other one's always picked them up.
We've had no opens. There's a spare in the 6th frame. 31 pin difference right now, and Marshall Holman could get rid of some of that with a strike.
Right, and before the Joseph Hudson combination can get another double, Bill Lillard and Marshall can pull it in within 10 pins.
Needs it desperately here. He really went up there, lifted it, ran it, got it. That ball is really running for him.
Boy, Marshall is definitely cranked up today and ready to bowl.
They call him the Medford Meteor from Medford, Oregon. He is a hard worker. And now this team, Joseph and Hudson, have to get back on a strike. This is 60-year-old Joe Joseph from Michigan, Lansing, Michigan.
There's a man that's been in the game for 37 years and still rolls the ball the same.
Working on a spare, looking for a strike in the 7th frame. No 5-pin.
No, but they have no 7 with it, which was there for a second, and that was a big break for them.
So now the lead for this gentleman and his partner is down to 20 pins. He told me he's never been so nervous in his life before this match.
Well, Joe Joseph is a past Tournament of Champions winner, and I'll tell you what, if he's nervous, he certainly doesn't look it to me.
He covers the 5-pin. Of course, Joseph has a story for everybody. He's that kind of a guy, a very congenial sort. And now 3 in a row for Lillard and Holman, and Bill from Houston looks for 4 in a row bowling in the 7th frame.
This strike here will get them back within 10 pins.
I'd like to watch Marshall Holman if Lillard buries one here. Really quiet in the house as he delivered the ball, ran it out, hit the head pin, and almost got the big split.
Now, Bill was a little bit anxious to throw that shot, I think. You know, it's been a while since he's been here in this position to bowl and have a chance to win, and I think he was just a little bit anxious because he almost ran the ball out before he let go of it that time.
So that increases the lead again for Joe Joseph and his partner, Tommy Hudson, back up to 23 pins.
You can see that conventional grip, Bill Lillard there.
And he better not chop one off of here. No opens in this match so far. 22-pin advantage for Joseph and Hudson.
Joseph and Hudson are working at a 238 clip compared to a 216 clip for Lillard and Holman.
Neither team has a strike up in the 7th frame, and quickly we go into the 8th. This will be the last frame for Joe Joseph in this game. His partner will finish it out. Here's his last toss of this game. He got it. Looked like he was going to run up on the head pin, and then it flattened out a little bit for him.
It sure did. I was shaking my head a little bit when he let go of that one, but the ball settled up just right the way he wants it to.
So he said to Tommy Hudson, "There's your strike, kid. Do something with it."
Finish it out for us now.
Bill Lillard. This will be his last frame in this game, and they're working on a spare as he bowls in the 8th.
And not only that, it's a must strike right here. They must match Joseph right now.
He went up there much more slowly that time. Had a good delivery, good lift, and not quite into the pocket enough.
Just a little bit short. I don't know whether they lost that ball a little bit or not, but the shot looked excellent, and the ball just did not finish for him.
23-pin disadvantage for Lillard. He's got to cover this 2-pin here. And if his partner doesn't bail him out, this is his last delivery of this tournament, the great and the greatest from Las Vegas.
Well, if Tommy Hudson gets a strike here in the 9th frame, Jack, he's almost going to shut them out.
Possible 268 game. He's been blasting that ball over on 31, almost
this shot here, if he
throwing
strikes
as hard
here,
as he can.
We'll put them 30 pins ahead, 33 pins ahead if he strikes here.
He didn't let up. He got it.
Tough competitor, Tommy Hudson is.
That's the 7th strike in this game for Hudson and Joseph. And remember, Joseph, the old-timer, if I might use that phrase again, got him started with that strike in the 1st frame. So darn important to have a good leadoff man.
It's darn important to get out of that gate, like we call it, out of the gate strong. Puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team.
Possible 235 game.
Marshall still doesn't give up. He doesn't quit at all.
This match is still up for grabs.
Right. Tommy Hudson must have a mark here to win the match.
A mark will do it.
Yes. Any type of mark is a winner.
And a split?
And it's up to Marshall, right? Don't ever give Marshall Holman an opportunity.
Looking for 3 in a row, bowling in the 10th frame. Tommy Hudson, a good hit, and that does it. That closes it out. They'll go into the finals against Tom Hennessey and Earl Anthony. It'll be $7,000 for Lillard and Holman, and at least $10,000 for the other pair, Joe Joseph and Tommy Hudson. They can bowl 268 if Hudson keeps hitting here.
This strike gives him 260 plus the fill ball. Nice easy stroke he has in that ball.
Dave Davis, would you rather be, if you were bowling in this, aside from the money, would you like to be Hennessey and Anthony waiting for the finals, or active as Joseph and Hudson are now?
No, I'd definitely rather be Earl Anthony and Tommy Hennessey. It's not just for the money, but you only have to bowl one game. And when you're finished anywhere else, you have to bowl more than that, and there's more opportunities for mistakes.
265. That's a good game. And Joseph and his partner Hudson embrace. They have vanquished another duo. There are only 4 left in the great and the greatest.